I'm actually doing an interview.
You were walking by my son person?
I've got your board.
Wow!
You were saying that you wanted, but please make yourself comfortable.
I am
Don't you look amazing?
You're spoken from one who knows. You look looking better than cheer.
Sit down.
What's your secret? What are you on these days?
Well, it's been a couple of years, right?
No, I was here last year. I was the only actor here last year.
I missed it last year.
I know. Well, you were running. I mean, that was.
That's all good.
We all got to it, yeah.
So when I actually wanted to do your second movie, because I started thinking about some questions I had. First thing I wanted to talk to you about was your youth in Hollywood, kind of growing up in LA, growing up in Hollywood. Just kind of walk us back through that. And how was your childhood and Hollywood high school, all that kind of culture growing up in LA?
Wow. Yeah, that's a unique way to grow up, because you've got to frame it. You've got to frame it within the context at the time. So, this is the 60s and 70s, and LA was, just a very exciting, radical place to be.
Very dynamic.
Very dynamic city. It, of course, is smaller than it is now. So when I was going to school, there were only, either you went to parochial school or you went to the local public school. And that meant everybody was in school together, all kinds of varied backgrounds. People that were thriving in the entertainment industry sent their kids to the same school that, the bus drivers' kids went to. And so you have this wonderful, rich tapestry of people in different neighborhoods all coming together at school.
Hollywood was kind of famous. This is sort of notoriety to it, I guess.
Hollywood High?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, okay, so when I was at Hollywood High, I was a cheerleader. And on the same squad of my cheerleading team was Rita Wilson, who is married to Tom Hanks. And Rita and I were very, very close, and we actually sang in a Christian coffee house singing group called The Way Home.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and Rita is still pursuing music, and she still, records and sings. And here's the weird thing, though. So where I live in near the beach. On my street, Rita's parents lived up the block from me. I mean, this is many, many years. Of all the streets in all of LA, we still. The parents were an artist's row from my house, and Rita's sister lives next door.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's good.
I never talked to you about this. You did some modeling. Tell me a little bit about your modeling life, because I've heard a lot of stories about that business. I've heard some good stories about it and some bad ones too. So how was it for you?
So modeling for me, was again a sort of stepping stone. It was a gap, kind of a gap year for me. I was in between. I left school, and I wasn't quite sure where I was headed. I loved journalism, still do, but I was just kind of figuring things out. And it was my ticket to go to Europe. That was my first trip to Europe. I was working at a shop, and a gentleman, 3 California designers were going to launch their clothing line in Europe, showed in London, Paris, and Germany for the first time. California didn't have much of a fashion seriousness. The designers were in New York.
And Europe.
And in Europe. But California was coming in, was doing some cool stuff, and they wanted a seat at the table. So they asked if I wanted to go with a collection and go to London, Paris, and Germany, and model the runways with these California designers. And so that was it. It was that girl went with me to Europe, you know, so we modeled, and I ended up falling in love with London. So I stayed in London.
What's not to love?
Yeah, right? So I got a modeling agent, really top agent. I was living in Jimi Hendrix's old apartment. The Candy, my modeling partner, was dating the president of WEA Records at the time, which, you know, was their Warner Brothers label. And he had this apartment on South Bolton Street in London that was Jimi Hendrix's old place. So he said, oh yeah, there's plenty of room, you can stay with me. So I didn't even know how, you know, I was so naive, I didn't know that this was, you know, a really posh area and everything. But we had the time of our lives, and I was modeling for Terry Mueller, a designer there in London, in Europe, and then, you know, eventually I guess, I had enough.
You already had that in your blood at that point, right? I mean, you knew that you wanted to be an actress.
Well, you know, I had kind of pushed back against it a little bit because of my family. People assumed a lot that, you know, of course you'd be an actress, that's, you know, everything you know. Right, yeah.
That's okay though, but I mean, you proved to be so good at it, and it's just came naturally to you. Something made up, we do the official General Hospital Convention. And I personally am a big fan of soaps. Are there any soap fans out there? I love soaps, I'm sorry, it's my very guilty pleasure. And I guess you could reach stint on One Life to Live.
No, I think what I did was Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives. Do you remember anything from that?
God, yeah, it was so weird, and you know, it was such an eye-opener, you know, I mean, to memorize that amount of dialogue is just shooting on your feet every day.
You gotta get it the first time.
Yeah, it's nothing like it, you know, really, my hat's off to, you know, they're so good at it, the people that do that. So I was just, you know, just breaking in and taking whatever, you know, gig I could get.
You did a couple of Pink Panther films.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
Wow.
I love those movies.
Right? What, oh my God, they're classic. So, that happened mainly, I was, I married, my first husband was the son of Blake Edwards.
Who we love.
Who was the director, great director
Yeah.
of, you know, all the Pink Panther movies, and amongst so many movies, you know, The Days of Wine and Roses, one of the classic, and 10, the movie 10. I met Blake, I was just dating Jeffrey, his son, and Blake was in the middle of editing 10, you know, the famous Bo Derek film, and he wanted to recut some sequences that couldn't be played in countries or on airplanes with strict rating codes, because there was some nudity, you had to take out the nudity. And so he asked if I wanted to play this young girl in the movie 10. So if you see the version of 10 in the movie theater, I mean, on airplanes, I'm in that version.
Wow.
And that I got my SAG card from that movie.
Wow.
And got my first agent.
And then from that, you got the Pink Panther days.
He often put me in some of the Pink Panther movies, which is really great, Robert Loggia, and, you know, filmed in Paris, one of them, and, yeah, I worked with Blake a couple of times, Skin Deep, The Man Who Loved Women. Yeah, he would, if ever there was, you know, a role that I could do, he was truly one of the great, generous human beings I've ever met.
So we have a relationship with a guy like that. Now, you have a pretty big catalog of work that you've done. I don't have the time to talk about a lot of those things, and I, of course, want to get to Tasha Yar. Pet Sematary, I think, was a pretty important thing that you did. So you want to just tell us a little bit about that before we go see if you can?
Well, the great thing about Pet Sematary is, I mean, the fact that I'm actually a huge Stephen King fan myself. But the director, Mary Lambert, and I were friends, and very close friends. She started her career in music videos, and this was the time when a lot of directors were coming out of the MTV music video scene. So Mary had directed her first music video was a song that the Tom Tom Club did. As Above, So Below, and it starred Judd Nelson and I. Judd would go on to do the Breakfast Club, and, all kinds of stuff. And so we really hit it off, Mary and I. And she said, one day, I'm going to make a film and you're going to star in it. Now, to say that, and then for it to actually happen, is a huge, huge bridge to cross. But she did. And so here we found ourselves, in Maine, doing this incredible film.
That's so great. And was Stephen around during production?
Stephen, so we got to Maine and we had about 2 weeks of rehearsal, where it was just Fred Gwynn, Dale Midkiff, who played my husband, and myself, and Mary, and Stephen in this, rehearsal room. And we just went through the script, page by page. I had my book, I had my novel, and Stephen was just as available as any possible person could be. Gene Roddenberry was that way as well. He was in that first season, we would go page by page, each script that would come out over lunch, and we would, any issues, any questions, any confusion, any suggestions, they were all allowed to be on the table.
I mean, that's a great segue. Tell us about Gene Roddenberry. Of course, he was with us from, I want to say, 1985 until he passed away. 6 or 7 years. He come every year to our show in LA, and he, the last speaker at the end of the weekend on Sunday. And he's such a loving and generous man. I really would love to hear some of your thoughts about Gene, your relationship with him, how you met him.
Well, I mean, he, again, just as you say, he was giving us these characters to take where we wanted them to go as a gift. He would say things like, they no longer belong to me. It's yours now. And so let's find out who these people are together. And it was, it certainly could have gone a very different way. He had full control and power, and deservedly so, over all these Star Trek. So he could have just determined whatever it was going to do. But he was very open to hearing our impressions.
He was very collaborative.
Yeah.
Actually, I think history has proven that he was indeed. Having said that, I know it's on record that there were a lot of things about the character of Tasha ultimately you weren't happy about. Although yesterday's Enterprise was such a gift and kind of changed the paradigm of that character. But before we got to that, during that first season of Next Generation, just kind of tell us the evolution of your experience during that first year. And ultimately, it was your decision to leave, or
Right.
to kind of walk us through that. It's pretty historic. I mean, I adored Tasha. I thought Tasha was great. I felt that Tasha had a lot of stuff going on. But I know you're the actor, you're inside the character, you're inside the script. So give us your mindset about how you felt about the character during that first year.
Sure. So I loved the character of Tasha Yar. I thought the potential for that role was so great and so complicated in ways that were hinted at times, but I wanted to explore more thorough storylines. And television was changing in the 80s. We were having multiple storylines going on in episodic television. So it wasn't just the one track procedural, where something would happen, you would get it resolved, and then you'd have a happy ending. There were complicated threads going on, a la Hill Street Blues, sort of the first real...
Like a B&C story, kind of all interweaved in the same
Yes, absolutely, or they would carry on into the next episodes. I mean, there were A, B, and C storylines.
So some of it was serial, some of it was just basically from one episode, and some of it was serial with a through line.
Right. And so, we had a big cast. And so I just was hoping that, you'd have something going on with Tasha and data or something over here, Crusher doing this over here, they're doing multiple storylines. But Gene really was adhering to a formula that he had done in the original series, which was, really focusing on the captain, Spock, and then there'd be, once in a while, some sprinkled in other stuff. And it just, I was very afraid that, again, we were doing 26 episodes a season, which is unheard of, unimaginable at this point in time. But there were so many episodes where I just was standing on that bridge. And
it was 22 episodes that he did, right? 22, I think, right?
That I did.
You did, yeah.
20, yeah, I think I only missed one or two of the first season.
But, yeah, I guess, it's an ensemble, so you have to kind of share storylines with 6 other people.
For sure.
It wasn't that.
But and again, remember, let's see, again, you have to place it in the context of the time. And television, I did an acting class for years. I was in an incredibly dynamic acting class that had people like George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer and Bryan Cranston and all these different actors were starting their careers. And it was a very exciting time to be working on film and theater. Television was not seen as the end-all, be-all place to be as an actor.
Boy, that has changed.
Right?
Oh my God.
That's what I mean.
That was spending as much money on an episode of TV show as they were on films.
Well, we're streaming all this amazing product now, and great storytelling is on television because the movies changed. They made far less new films, and they made franchises that will play overseas.
All right, so you left the series after 1 year, so I only have about 3 minutes left. We're going to try and leave about half of every segment for audience questions, guys. So we want to be as democratic as possible. I have so many questions, but yesterday's Enterprise was a gift. Eric's idea was really fantastic and kind of changed your character forever.
Yeah, it was such a surprise. First of all, I never thought anything like that would happen. And then when I read how great the script was, it absolutely a gift. And allowed, of course, for Sela to do more.
We're going to talk about Sela's amazing. Just kind of walk us through Sela's mindset a little bit.
What was it?
Sela's mindset. I mean, where she was coming from. Well, for one thing, she wanted to undermine Vulcan.
Right.
And the unification was that whole thing.
I mean, she was coming from a deep resentment of and denial of her human side. And I thought it was going to be really fantastic to kind of explore what that means, what that is. Why is she so, so much anger comes out of fear. So why is she so afraid to embrace that part of her? Obviously she was raised by Romans who, are the enemy of the Federation, but it's such a great dynamic to explore as an actor. And, the chance to play your own daughter, I mean, I think the only actor in history to do that, I don't know, only in sci-fi,
The character had a lot of dynamic tension. That's what I love about her. And did you get to work much with Leonard? Leonard anymore? Tell us about the experience of working with Leonard.
Well, Leonard was, it was kind of astonishing because I, like everyone else, had grown up, watching the original show. So, knowing him as Spock, and now suddenly I'm, wrestling with them, and it was pretty special. And he was just lovely, open to talk to, and giving, of course, I really got to know more when I was making Trekkies. He was very giving and generous with his time. I spent hours with him in his office, and he just was forthcoming, candid, and relaxed, and just, very fun.
We love that. Okay, two last things and then we're going to get to that. First of all, Annabelle is a movie about a horrible doll that everybody's always freaked out by dolls. But I wonder if people realize that, as far as I'm concerned, that was inspired by Dolly Dear. You and I will love the Rip Torn.
Oh,
tell us a little bit about that. I think it's a cult classic.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that shit.
That was just, what a great fun time. I mean, Rip Torn is an American icon, legend,
I love it.
Oh my God, it was, just found myself. And Sam Bottoms, one of the great Bottoms family of actors, it was just a great project to be part of, and, it wasn't lost on me that I got to, have scenes with Rip.
I figured you guys must have really been involved.
Yeah, again, and he didn't stuff with fools, he was a tough guy. You better have your stuff together when you, show up on set with him. He loved, he talked fondly and warmly still about his beloved wife, Geraldine Page. He missed her so much, and she was an extraordinary actor.
One last thing. What was it like working with Quentin Tarantino on Jackie Brown? Okay, I love Jackie Brown. I think that is such a great film. Any Jackie Brown fans out there? Such a great movie, Robert Forster. I mean, it's such a great film. De Niro. Tell me about that shoot and tell me about Quentin.
So Quentin is, one of a kind, for sure. I'll tell you how I met Quentin. This is kind of, well, I had met, Reservoir Dogs was running around. The script was, every actor I knew was reading it and auditioning for it. And I had read the script and thought it was extraordinary. It was unbelievable.
I'm sorry, you're looking at Reservoir. What channel was it from?
I'm talking about Reservoir Dogs. The first, before Jackie Brown. Then I tell you how I got to Jackie Brown. So I was somewhere at a party and I was introduced to this guy named Quentin Tarantino. And I went, oh my God, I just read your script is unbelievable. And he said, oh my God, thank you so much. Well, I think your work is incredible, blah, blah, blah. And I went, wow, thank you. So there was a comic book convention a couple weeks later in Pasadena. Not your show.
Did you ever with Quentin used to hang out at my Fangoria horror shows year after year after year? It could have been my show.
Well, this was it. Wasn't it I think it was a comic book. Okay. So I'm signing autographs. Along comes this guy in line with my action figure, and it's Quentin. He has my action figure for me to sign. And I look up and I go, oh my God, what's going on? He goes, could you sign my action figure? I'm going to put it on my mantle next to my John Travolta Saturday Night Live. I mean, such a nerd. He's such a, So I signed the thing, and a couple weeks later, the Sundance Film Festival was going on, and I happened to be there, and Quentin was showing Reservoir Dogs for the first time, and the rest is history. So he called me up, and wanted me to play this role in Jackie Brown. I said, of course, my God, I'll do anything you ever asked.
All right, thank you for being so generous.
Was there any countries that you would like to visit but didn't get to in the end, or did you visit a place you really wanted to go to?
Well, I mean, there's still so many places, I hope to get to, if we can make it at least 3. I would really like to go to, Asia and India. Yeah. See what Trek is doing down there, what people are about down there. Thank you.
Denise, you're still looking amazing after all these years, if you don't mind me saying so.
Thank you.
Sure does. Hey, just now, you nailed my question, sort of, Trekking 3, what would you say are the specific things that have to happen to get that project moving forward and, get it and make it a reality so we all can see it?
Well, I mean, so much. So this is the 25th anniversary this year of Trekkies. So much has happened in these past 25 years in terms of acknowledgement, acceptance, the fandom has grown, the number of series that are now on the air. I'd really like to kind of take a temperature and measure of, what is the same and what has changed. So that's sort of my intention going forward. I think, if I could make a third one, we've talked about it, it would be, a final nice package of sort of covering everything I set out to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetie, for your compliment, too. Hey,
Hi, thanks for being here. Another related question. I was wondering if you still keep in contact with many people that you interviewed in those movies.
I think I'm going to need you to repeat you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you still keep in contact with any of the people that you interviewed in Trekkies?
Oh, from the documentaries, other people? Well, yes, you might even be here. I don't know, Gabriel Kerner. I know will be here this weekend, my 14-year-old star of Trekkies. I know he is coming this weekend. So, yeah, I would definitely go and check in on some of my stars.
And we didn't have a chance to mention that, but you guys have seen the Trekkie films, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was very fun to see you on some episodes of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. And I was wondering how you enjoyed your time and what it was like to work with Dee and Jerry.
How I enjoyed myself on Superman? Oh my God, that was just so much fun. Oh, the style of that show was very unique and funny, but cartoony at the same time. And I just really had a fun time playing that sinister doctor. And obsessed with Lex Luthor. So it was really a lot of fun.
It was great to see you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi.
Would you want to stay on this?
Louder, please.
Would you want to stay on the topic that you didn't want to leave?
Say one more time.
Did you want to agree?
I know this.
Sorry.
No, this is the echoing, the reverb. Did I want to stay on the show? Well, I was hoping, yeah, it was going to, sort of kind of be what the writing for me I wanted it to be. But I did get to stay, I got to pop in all the time.
Thank you.
You got it. I'm going to walk around a little bit. So I can see we were so far and high. And look on this side.
Hello, Denise, thank you for being here. My question for you is, what else would you like to have seen Tasha Yar do if she had not been killed in the line of duty?
Well, I really was looking to explore, her grappling with being a Starfleet officer. There were hints of Tasha that she was defined. I mean, she earned her position as the chief of security, rightfully so. But she had some doubts inside of her that she was grappling with. So I always loved to play the against type, so to speak. And what were her ongoing relationships over the years with the fellow crew members and things like that. And I think it would have been fun to really see her kick some ass. Like really get in there and really fight. Not just, code of honor kind of fight, but, really like battle, like organized battles and stuff. That's what she did. I don't know, I think an interesting thing to explore Tasha's origin story. Because I've often wondered, how did, we know she came from this failed Earth colony, Takana 4, and she's an orphan. How did she get from there to Starfleet? That's a story. That's an inspirational story. Yeah, maybe we'll see. Might be something to develop.
Thank you. Hi, I have a Walking Dead question for you.
Oh, yeah!
So we were out in the courtyard grilling, and we, in my neighborhood, it was a neighborhood show that we all watched, got together, always wondered what kind of sauce you were using.
Oh, nice little berets with fava beans. Tastes like chicken.
I grew up watching The Next Generation, and as a fifth grade girl, I was super inspired by you. I used to memorize your lines. Do you have a favorite line that you could deliver for us from Star Trek? Do you remember any of them?
Let's see. Well, of course. Are you fully functional? It's a classic. That's just one of the great, lines of all time. And you know what the answer is? Oh, yeah. 3 C's. All the world should have them.
And I just want to say that you were incredibly hot in that scene. I'm sorry. But it was also the way that your hair done and I think you were wearing. Was it Bill?
That's Bill Tice.
Unbelievable.
Bill Tice.
Oh
my God. That thing was, I was glued. And I wore a terry cloth robe over that onto the set. No one had seen it. And, I know I have to take this off now, and it's all men on the crew, and Brett. So I, take off my robe and the costume robe, and Brett just goes.
so gorgeous. He's so gorgeous. No.
That's before children.
Did you enjoy playing a sheriff on Briscoe County?
Oh my God, this is a good
Another great show.
What a great, fun show that was. Yes, I loved every minute of it. Bruce and, oh my God, I was going to, he played Gomez.
John Ashton. John Maxwell.
Thank you, jeez, my brain. I mean, what an extraordinary, show, yeah. And a really cool little, steampunk kind of, episode that was. It was just, I loved it. That's really my great joys, you just get to play in all these different, playgrounds. And Bruce, whenever Bruce and I see each other, we have a rollicking good time. Fun. I've on stage with him at times.
We love Bruce.
Yeah, but for
Every time you see the Sematary film, Bruce is going to turn up.
oh my God, he's so special. He's so special.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Jen. I just wanted to ask you another Walking Dead question. I love you in that episode, by the way. I wonder how fun the fight scene was with Carol. I also wondered if you think Mary could have taken her.
Wait. Say again.
The fight scene.
Oh, the Carol.
The Carol. Do you think Mary could have taken her?
Oh, man. I could have taken her. I could have taken her. I'm just rooting for you. You shot me away. And then suck the zombies on me. Carol, that was amazing. That was an amazing sequence. Oh my God, I know. Turnus, oh Lord. That sequence was amazing. They had probably 1,000 candles in that room. Lit, actual candles. So, for the fight sequence. So when they handed me the fire retardant underwear put on under my skirt, I went, no. I'm not going to die to make this show. I'm not wearing fire retardant underwear. So I said, let's just go around the candles. So that was a trip.
Hello, Denise.
Hello.
I've got an interesting question for you. So, the second to last episode you filmed of The Next Generation, you waved to the cameraman in the turbo lift that was filming Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden. What was your inspiration behind that action?
Okay, so, great question. I believed that was going to be my very last shot that I would ever shoot in The Next Generation. So, typically, I think somebody said to me, make something for the blooper reel. Just do something silly. So, in the scene, you'll see me, I'm waving goodbye to the fans. And they yelled, cut. And then this big cake came out, and the producers came to the set to thank me and congratulate me for my work on the show and to say goodbye. And then they moved on. And I thought, well, they need to reshoot that scene because I'm waving at broken what's called the fourth wall, and I'm waving goodbye. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to say anything. And lo and behold, the show comes on the air, and there I am, waving to the camera. And I don't know if they just missed it, or they're in on the show, the editors, and put it in anyway, or they had no choice. They had no other take.
So we never found out the answer to that question? We never found out the answer to that question, whether it was intentional or not, or what? You waiting, was it that they left it in, was it intentional, or?
One day I hope to get the answer from the editors.
That's a good question.
Right? I mean, it's in there.
Could be a comedy gag, or it could just stay, it could be a loving homage to say goodbye.
They just like, exactly.
Cool.
They just said, we'll leave it in. Keep going.
Yes, so comments.
Hi, Denise, thanks for coming. Wanted to ask if you can share if you will be in season 3 of Picard at all.
Oh. I don't want to give away too much. But I'm going to tell you that you will see Tasha Yar. I'm not going to tell you how.
Perfect, thank you.
It's got to be watch. We're going to watch.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, I just wanted to ask about the way you were talking about when you played your own daughter, right, as the Romulan, and I thought that was fantastic. But one thing that's always sort of bugged me about it is, you know, when she says that I basically, my mom wanted to steal me away and kidnap me from my Romulan dad, and I handed her in, basically, and she was killed at that point. I wonder if that's actually just a story that, you know, the Romulan daughter makes up because she really wants to reject her human mom, especially because I just don't like the fact that Tasha as a character coming from a background the way she does, like you mentioned, right? From a planet where there are all these gangs like committing a lot of violence against women, she's an incredible story of like being persistent and strong. So I kind of don't really like the fact that she ends up becoming a concubine again and then has to be, you know, executed.
There are some discrepancies, and there's some alternate stories that, like, for instance, Star Trek Online, I don't know if you play the game, but kind of explored, that in fact Tasha Yar was alive all this time, right? That she's, you know, on a colony somewhere as a survivor, and she survived, she escaped. And I'm kind of going with that one.
Yes.
Oh, we're on this side still. Okay. The sound got better, right?
Yes, we took care of the issue. We had a little acoustic issue up here that
Okay.
was addressed.
Wow, I can relax now. I'm straining
It was not good.
No, we're good though.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you.
So, considering Tasha Yar's special relationship with Data, I wonder, was it intentional that Data was the one that foiled the plan of her daughter? When he did the tachyon beam, it was actually Data who did the whole thing that defeated the whole plan. Like, considering she had the relationship with Data, was that purposely written or just an interesting serendipity?
Wow. Huh. I've never really put that together. I mean, or thought about it in that way. I don't know. You know, chances are that it was very intentional, you know, because it's thought through in that way.
Thank you.
Good one. How are
I
you?
just wanted to ask a quick question about Data's relationship with Tasha Yar. Like, so Data was on trial for his humanity. If Tasha Yar was still alive, do you think she would have been there defending him and telling about her personal story with Data?
Oh,
Herself?
I know that Tasha Yar would defend him. Whatever it is. No, yeah, I mean, there's a.
Because I think, like, she would definitely be there defending Data in his humanity and that he's a real person, even though he's an android.
Yeah, I mean, she would absolutely go to the mat for Data.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Denise.
How are ya?
Great. Grew up watching your show. Love the show. You're an inspiration to a lot of people. But I want to say, Pet Cemetery. Love Pet Cemetery. Love the role.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So what?
Good.
We all love that film.
Yeah, it's,
Creepy.
yeah, with Zelda.
Hi, many of your roles, you play kind of a badass woman, and, you know, it's very cool. And I saw something online that just doesn't connect. And I'm wondering if you can comment on it. It says that your nickname is Pookie somewhere. I mean, how did that come about? It just doesn't fit.
That came about on Next Gen. Yeah, even on my dressing room it said Pookie Yar. One of these guys, and I don't remember if it came from Frakes. It kind of feels like it came from Frakes. They just gave me this nickname and it stuck. Pookie. And they to this day, they only say Pookie. You know? The only one that doesn't use it, I think, is Delancey. Not quite a Q thing. But, yeah, everyone else, it's Pooks or Pookie. Aww. Pookie are. Oh, yes, good.
Hi, thanks. Just wanted to say first, it's been so great seeing you at these conventions. You're so personable, and would love to understand, what are some of your favorite experiences at conventions?
Wow, my gosh. I mean, inevitably there's always a really deeply heartfelt story that's shared with me from a fan of, maybe some struggles that they were having or they got through watching the show, gleaning some sort of inspiration. But really what I love to hear are when young women, who were little girls watching the show, were inspired to be who they are and own it, and not afraid that they didn't fit into some sort of peg or square. That the character Tasha Yar said, you can be strong, you can be valued, be valuable, be worth your weight, and that's what they got from that character. So that's way beyond, me. That's huge. That's a huge thing to have been part of, and that makes me feel spectacular.
Thank you.
Oh, there's that!
It has been so great. I just can't get over it. It's so great to see you again. Come on, give it up for her.